What is the one thing you would change about the removal industry?
When you buy in second-hand vans, unfortunately, you are buying somebody else's problem. Well, with iMove, you can set email automation. So if you do a move 7 days later, for instance, it can automatically ask for a review from the customer.
2 vans, 5 staff. What's the best way to get off the vans? They say it's 11 touch points before someone will book.
Is it?
I reckon, yeah.
So if you're interested, get in touch because...
Can you put what you'd change about the industry in the comments?
And quite a lot of people blame the market before they look at their marketing. Hi guys, welcome to this episode of MveCast. This is episode 13. It's a different type of episode this time. We're going to do a Q&A round of all the iMove users who have asked questions, as well as our social media followers who have asked questions as well. So we're looking forward to diving into it. We always start the podcast with a business question from my mate Robert.
Right, guys. Okay, episode 13's business question is: how do you handle busy periods compared to quieter periods? Because I know in the removal industry, there's peaks and troughs, and how do you manage staff and how do you manage vans? If you could answer that one for me, mate.
Yeah. You threw it at me there. I didn't have any preparation. I think with removals, you're always going to get the roller coaster. I like to call it a proper roller coaster industry.
Yeah.
So it's up and down. But what I believe in and what's worked for me over the years is having a bank of staff members who are self-employed. So most of my staff members are employees, but I've got about 3 or 4 people who are, like, one guy's a gardener, for instance, and he can work on his days off when he's not got anything. So subcontractors, if you like, which makes it much easier to manage the quieter periods when you've got staff that aren't desperate for the work. Do you know what I mean?
Just staff that are ticking over. Kind of thing.
And they're also the kind of staff that don't really take any offence or get grumpy if they don't have any work here. So you can pick and drop them, which works really well. As well as obviously in-depth admin work from Esther, making sure we're not overbooking ourselves, which is always tricky, especially because you want to make sure days are full, but then if you get 2 moves cancel, your day's not full anymore. So sometimes we do overbook ourselves in the hope of a cancellation. Sometimes that cancellation doesn't happen and it's all hands on deck. And that's when the whole staff, the admin staff on the vans, quotes get neglected. But like I said, it's a bit of a roller coaster. It's something that I personally haven't solved. I don't really know the best answer for it, but I do think a bank of self-employed ad hoc staff members help out. What
percentage? Is there a percentage you have?
I've got probably...
What have you always had, like from day one to...
20%, I reckon. 20% of people that aren't desperate for the Warren's work. But it's the employees who have got 40-hour contracts, want 5 days a week, some want 6 days a week. Those are the ones you have to please first. You always have to please those first. Yeah,
so have your skeleton squad.
Yeah.
And then bring in interim periods.
Yeah.
For busier periods.
Yeah.
But when are the busier periods? You find the summer or the...
Some people think removals is seasonal. I don't think it's seasonal. However, you are busier in the summer generally. But when, for instance, if you've a couple of years ago sold your house and bought a house, by the time you put your house on the market, it could be February. You might not move till December.
Yeah.
So you can't really plan a busy peak, you know what I mean? But for us personally, I've said it a load of times, December is always our busiest month. Currently, we're in October, and October is potentially the busiest month of our year. It feels like we're still in the thick of summer. So it's been a bit of a different year. And through the consensus of removal companies that I speak to, they're in the same kind of situation where they've got too much work at the minute, if that's even a thing.
I think, I don't think it's seasonal. I think it's deemed by the government's decisions. because when the government's like put interest rates up, then everyone's on hold.
Yeah.
And then they start to come down, then everyone moves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? COVID, like it's a lot to do with the government's decisions, I think, in the removal industry, whether it's busy and...
Yeah. Plus, when it comes to selling your house, if you sell your house in the summer, the photos are better, which means that the house looks better. Do you know what I mean? So there's a bit of that as well. Plus, we got the budget at the end of this month, and I don't normally care about any politics, but we went to a business masterclass recently, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah. It was good, actually, yeah. It was a good couple of days to spend with yourself, talking about business and coming up with some ideas, getting out of the working environment and just pinging some ideas off regarding iMove. And it was definitely worthwhile, wasn't it?
Yeah. The only thing that I found, because I don't listen to the news, radio, I don't do any of that. I literally just carry on with the business, focus on the business rather than what's going on, which you can't control. But at that masterclass, they had like a section of accountants up, weren't they?
Yeah.
So you were obviously watching these accountants talk about the government and what's going on. And they were talking about this budget. And I was like, I'm actually now really interested in how the budget goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm quite invested. I've got a rental property, and I think this budget, there's a capital gains. There's a lot of talk on capital gains, and at one point, I think they was going to put it up to 40%. But I think they're going to go for 20% to 26%. Don't quote me on that, but I think they're going to raise it by a couple of percent instead of like doubling it.
Yeah, and we just got to see what happens, because that is, like you said, it's an influence on the property market, isn't it? And
of course it is, yeah.
What happens, but not generally. What will happen is one part will go up and something will come down, but it levels out. But it's who it appeals to. We always want the first time buyers, the new buyers, to be in a good position to buy, because they're the ones that stimulate the chain. We rarely move first-time buyers. We're moving like towards the top of the chain now, but you do need the first-time buyer to start the chain.
Yeah, kick it off,
Yeah. So if they stop buying, or if it becomes impossible for first-time buyers, that is going to impact everybody in the industry. But then it comes to marketing, and quite a lot of people blame the market before they look at their marketing.
Yeah, that's a good little quote. Did you make that one yourself, mate?
I did, mate.
Yeah, I like that one, mate. Yeah.
So marketing, as we know with iMove, it's so important, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is, mate. Of course it is. Okay, yeah. So thanks for answering that, mate. That was a good little answer. We'll move on to the next question. I'm not sure who it was from, but we'll move on to it. I don't know whether it's from Instagram or one of the iMove members on the WhatsApp group. But what is the one thing you would change about the removal industry?
There's two things. Can I answer two things? Is that all right?
Only one, mate. No, go on.
The first one is about VAT. Without trying to get too political, I do think that a service-based industry needs to be a different tier to a product-based industry. So, as an example, we are a removals company and we are supplying staff and the vehicles to remove, and we've got to charge a certain amount for that move plus VAT. Now, on that move, you can probably claim £5 back on fuel if it's a local job. Packing materials, hardly anything back. But you might be charging £1,000 for a move, and then the customer has to pay £200 VAT on top.
Yeah.
If we can claim back from that move £7, I just don't think that's very good. I just think if you're a product supplier or a builder, for instance, where there's a lot of stuff to purchase, there's a lot of money you can reclaim back. So that's something I would like to change about the removals industry as a service-based on the whole. 10% for service-based industries, 20% for product-based. Probably will never ever get heard or never ever happen, but that's just something that I've got a bit of a view on. And the second thing is...
with the VAT, though, I think all businesses... I think now the government should just VAT 10% across everyone.
Business.
Because then it stops... Don't you think it stops people from growing? Because when you get to that, like, 90%, 85,000, then people are like, oh, I don't want to go over the VAT threshold.
Yeah.
Because and it stops like entrepreneurs from kicking on, don't you think?
Yeah, it does actually. It's a good point. Yeah, so if everybody paid 10%,
If everyone paid 10%, then
it's an even playing field then, isn't it?
then it's an even playing field, then
Yeah.
you're going through it. But yeah, I totally agree with your point, to be fair. You're not really claiming any VAT back,
No.
whereas like for iMove, we're B2B, but like they pay VAT and we pay VAT, so
for Warren's Removals, my last back quarter was £54,000 in total, and we could claim back off that 6,000, so we paid just shy of £49,000, and that's just crazy.
Yeah,
because my customers, we don't do B2B work very much. It's residential people, so they can't claim the VAT back. They're paying it to us, and we're paying it to the revenue.
Maybe that's something to look into, mate. B2B.
I don't think.
No,
I don't know. I'm not too sure.
What's your second thing,
the second one was, I think we need for our diary management, and I'm pretty sure everybody in the industry would agree with this, is we need a good time frame between exchange and completion. It'd be nice if we had 2 weeks, so then the diary would be managed a lot better, because currently we're going up to a Friday, for instance, and our customer who was booked in for that Friday still hasn't exchanged on the Wednesday. Now that plays with the customer's minds. They're all stressed as it is, and it also plays about with our calendar.
Yeah,
so
it's hard to confirm bookings, isn't it? And
yeah,
that's probably why you overbook yourself. Is that why you overbook?
Exactly why we overbook ourselves. Yeah, because people do drop off.
Yeah, and you could have like 4 men just sitting there all day, then.
Yeah, and that's the difficult conversation to have then.
Yeah,
we have changed the ways we charge customers. So you got to pay a deposit, it's 25% deposit. If they cancel within 7 days of the move date, they lose their deposit, but that's all done on discretion, and we don't really like stealing people's money if we haven't delivered a service. So we don't normally do that really, but we have got the terms if we want to use them. But
I suppose when times are bad, you probably use it. Is that what you do, or just not?
We've been doing this now for probably 4 years.
Have you
we've probably taken 5 deposits.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So not many, and we get a lot of cancellations. But the good thing is, in most of the guys here, if they have a day off, they're not going to complain. It's a physical job.
Yeah.
Or we generally go onto the WhatsApp group saying, sorry, we've had a cancellation on Friday. Would anybody like the day off? And generally you get 3 or 4 people saying, yeah, I need my haircut, or I want to go shopping. You know what I mean? So people opt for the days off as well. So we'd prefer no cancellations, but there's ways around it when we get them. But yeah, it'd be nice if we had a couple of weeks in between exchange and completion.
Okay, yeah.
Anybody listening to this podcast and watching it on YouTube, by the way, can we please put your answers to that question in the comments?
And also, what I was just about to say is can you put what you'd change about the industry in the comments?
Yeah. Exactly what we want. We want people to express their opinions on this as well, don't we?
Yeah, without
Whether
doubt.
you're watching on YouTube or Spotify.
Yeah.
If it's YouTube, give us a comment.
Yeah, and we'll also read the comments out next episode. I think we're going to start doing.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. We have, what would you have done if you didn't get into removals?
I was a chef. I was a chef before removals.
You was, mate. I remember.
I was. I don't think that would have been my forever job. But I didn't have a vision. I had literally no idea what I wanted to do. I fell into removals and I ran with it. Yeah. So I have no idea, to be honest. I'm just blessed that I fell into removals and fell in love with it.
So I'll tell you what my thesis is for people that don't do well at school and had not poor education, but didn't really pay interest in it. I think when they if they go into a normal job, then it's just like them being told at school. You know what I mean? They don't do well.
Yeah.
But if they start to work on your own, all of a sudden, if you're a freelancer, if you just work on your own, then you've got to perform. You have no choice. You have no choice in performing. Yeah. And I think that's what happened kind of with you. Do you know what I mean? Because you got released on your own. Did you think, I've got to earn my own money now? Yeah. Because it's in your own hands. Yeah. So then you start to go for it, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're chefing some David Lloyd and they tell you to do this, it's just like being at school to being told what to do by a teacher. Yeah. That's just my little thesis on it.
Yeah, and I wasn't bad. I was never a bad employee. I wasn't bad at being told what I needed to do. It's just got to conform to certain businesses and how they work. But I always had something in me, a bit of passion to work for myself, because I've got that mindset. I've got a bit of a strange mind that I can't even walk into a shop without trying to figure out whether the shop is profitable, how many staff are there, how many customers they've got coming in, what they're selling them for. I'm figuring, like, my mind is just is wired that way. So I always knew I had a bit of something in me, but I didn't know what it was, and I definitely didn't expect it to be removals.
Good mate. Yeah.
I did, like I said, fall into removals, and it took about 2 or 3 weeks before I started to move like proper houses, maybe even longer than that. And it was the bug I got from seeing the accomplishment of somebody else, somebody buying a new house, and on me experiencing that moment with them, and that's what gave me the bug. And I got obsessed from then.
And the feedback, when you get good feedback, you're like, oh yeah, let's do it again.
I want to do it again.
When you do moves for 50 quid and 4 men and your mates, you know what I mean? You just want to do the move. Yeah.
Chasing the dragon, they call it, isn't it? So you get a high and you want it again, so you keep chasing the dragon.
Better to be obsessed with that than actually chasing the dragon, isn't it? Okay, next question. So you'd be a chef, is that the answer?
I might have just stuck in chefing.
Okay. You was a good chef.
I was good in the microwave.
What is the best source of lead generation that you use? Or what do you think the best source of lead generation is?
Does that include word of mouth or not? Does it have to be something different?
Just as a whole, I'd say. As a whole.
Well, on the whole, I'd say word of mouth. You only grow through the amount of people you move and the amount of people that talk about you.
Do good work, yeah.
Do good work.
Do good work.
And over 11 years now since we've been trading, we've got 25 moves just this week. That's 25 different families that are going to be talking about us going forward if we do a good job. So naturally, that is our highest source of lead now, just word of mouth.
Is that actually, does the statistics on iMove actually say word of mouth? Does it? Yeah.
We have had a good few months with Google though, but we could dive into it a little bit more and ask customers, but you don't really want to, pester the customers. But somebody might hear from us, from a friend, but then go onto our website and then fill out the form.
It's the final.
Google.
That they say it's 11 touch points before someone will book.
Is it?
I reckon, yeah. So 11 forms of content with your business, whether it's scrolling Instagram post, and then like a newsletter, then an email, then it's average 11 touch points, mate.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Nice little
Simon
fact.
Squibb taught me that one, mate.
Oh, did he? Squibby.
Squibby, yeah.
I do actually think though you need to do a bit of everything. You can't just rely on one. But word of mouth for us definitely now is fantastic. Estate agents, another one. Quite a lot of removal companies I speak to. Only one yesterday I was speaking to is looking to create a removals company. Everyone seems to ask me about estate agents and how you get in with them. I'm not going to dive into it now, but if anybody does want to know my little tips and tricks, get in touch with me.
Yeah.
It's quite long-winded.
Okay, I was going to say, why didn't you say it now?
Yeah, it's quite a long-winded thing.
Yeah,
it's something that I need to explain to people.
We made that referral document. It's got some stuff in it, but I think it's a relationship building, isn't it? Building, go out and see them instead of working in the business. They're working on the vans. Go out and see the estate agents, build up that good rapport.
Yeah.
And what do you think? I don't know if you use these, but there's a lot of like small estate agents these days, like going out on their own.
Yeah.
Do you ever get in contact with them or use them?
Yeah, there's quite a few of those that recommend us. Those are the kind of people that have worked out that estate agents don't need a shop front.
Yeah.
People do like a shop front still now. People like to go and walk in the centre of the high street, walk past and have a look in the window. But with the internet now, you don't really need to spend the rent and rates. So there are quite a lot of these small businesses popping up now, and there is 2 or 3 that recommend us.
Yeah. So do you strike a deal? Would you strike a deal with these people saying I'll give you a percentage of the move, or is it just like a recommendation?
Never ever strike a percentage deal with an estate agent. Never ever do it. If you've already tied in with a percentage thing with an estate agent, carry on. Hopefully it's working for you, but we've tried it once. It just doesn't work because you've got to declare your costs. It becomes a bit messy. So if you quote, say if you're saying I'll give you 10% of, a successful move, what is it? 10% of the overall cost, 10% of the profit, 10% after you might have damaged the telly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you do? Where's the cutoff?
Yeah.
There has to be one little point of, if you refer someone to us and we successfully move that client, we are going to give you this amount, whether that's a 6-bed house or a 1-bed apartment. It's the same amount, and it's up to you to factor that in to the cost.
Yeah.
So percentages don't work.
Okay, mate. Yeah. Perfect.
It might work for others. I'm just speaking on my own.
Yeah.
But I had one, which is a mega big estate agent, one that I really, really wanted to get in with for ages. And I actually got in with them through a friend. And I had the meeting with him. I was really excited about the meeting. And he wanted 25% of every single move. And I was like, 25%. And through that, they recommended me to about 3 or 4 people. I went into the quote, added 20% on top instead of 25. Nobody booked with us because we were too expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if we would have just done it a little bit better and not as greedy, that would have flew, that would have.
Yeah.
But I just felt a bit of greed, so I just pulled away from it.
Good, mate. Good. Any more marketing? Lead generation tools?
YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
YouTube's worked really well for us.
Yeah.
YouTube has been brilliant.
YouTube, I suppose it falls under the social media.
Yeah.
Post regularly.
But I don't actually look at YouTube as social media, believe it or not. I look at it as a link to Google. So Google own YouTube. YouTube acts well for Google. So since we've been doing YouTube, we found we are top of the page.
Yeah. And if you type in, I suppose with iMove as well, if you type in removals and storage software, we've only been going a year, launched a year, and we'd be top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously we do this podcast, which is long form content. Google loves that, which helps our ranking.
It does.
Yeah.
So yeah, YouTube.
Social media, always. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're watching this and you follow me on Warren's Removals, you see that I do some stupid stuff at the moment. We're experimenting. It's working. That's really good for brand awareness and global reach.
Yeah, it is.
So it's just venturing into bigger parts of the country, and we are getting moves from far away, which don't really make any sense in using us, but we're reaching these people now.
Influence like influencers, yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
And,
likes like likes. That's what it is.
And I don't know if I could have done that back in the day. It's taken time to get to that confidence level where people trust us and we can prat about a bit.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going with at the minute. So we're doing 3 days filming a month now.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's getting well, isn't it? Yeah.
1 day reels.
1 day reels, 1 day YouTube long form, 1 day podcast.
Yeah.
Then that gets our content throughout the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just big,
And I don't think that's enough either.
No, it's probably not enough.
Yeah.
We'd like to do more.
Yeah.
But it's time, isn't it?
It is. And you've got to have a balance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good. What about lead generation tools? Like in iMove, we've got you pin locals, you compare my moves, etc. Obviously, we all know you don't use them.
Yeah.
I think they're good for newbies, new starts.
Yeah, newbies plus quiet periods.
Yeah.
Yeah, from people that I speak to, they use it if they're quiet, they turn them back on. I have no real view on them, if I'm honest, and I try not to give too much of a view with something that I don't know about. But I've never used them personally. But since I moved, we've realised that 50% of the industry are using them.
Yeah, loads of people use them.
Yeah.
Email marketing.
Something you've shown me. You've taught me all about email marketing. I've never done it. Not for Warren's. And like I said before, the phone rings anyway. We got, like I said, 25 moves this week.
Yeah.
We're doing currently between 70 and 100 moves in a month. I don't need to switch on any email marketing unless I wanted to grow, and we're not growing size-wise at the minute. Although I have just put a deposit down on a new van.
Okay, what van are you going for?
A Nissan. So going for a Nissan. It's October now, and the delivery should be April, which is a brand new van, brand new reg, and they're now starting to introduce Apple CarPlay into vans. So they're not in vans.
Good for the staff morale, yeah?
Brilliant, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that, although I probably won't ever drive it. But
Yeah.
it's good to see, like, vans getting Apple CarPlay. I just love Apple CarPlay. If I get a new car, that's the first thing. One of the first things I need is Apple CarPlay.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. I like a heated seat,
Okay,
nice
yeah,
heated
yeah.
seat, Apple CarPlay, good
I'll have,
stereo, and I'm away.
I'll have to get on that, the Apple CarPlay.
Have you not got it?
No, I'll just lock my phone, yeah, podcast.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah, so yeah, good points there, mate.
Yeah.
Marketing, word of mouth, big one. Have a good product, and then get the reviews as well. Get reviews.
Yeah.
People look at a lot of reviews these days because they're used to looking on Amazon reviews, and I think that's a big thing these days. Get them reviews in.
Yeah. Well, with iMove, you can set email automation. So if you do a move 7 days later, for instance, it can automatically ask for a review from the customer. We don't do that because we like to cherry pick.
Yeah.
I know we've spoken about this before, but reviews are massive.
Yeah.
I've actually just got, yesterday they arrived. I ordered them about 6 weeks ago, so I don't know where they came from, but they arrived yesterday. Little key rings for the keys.
I've seen that, the Google
the Google QR code, which is linked to warrant removal. So if a customer is really happy, because sometimes you can ask a customer for a review, they say yes, but they forget.
Yeah, they forget, of course they do.
But if they're loving you on the driveway as they're waving off, if you give them the little QR code, they might do it there and then.
Yeah.
So strike it whilst it's hot.
Yeah, it gets rid of that friction, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without being too forceful. But I pay my team leaders a bonus for reviews, so they're quite good at getting them as well.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a good little point, the review bonus.
Yeah.
That's always worked for you. That's a good one for people to do, isn't it? For the removal owners to do.
Whenever I was
any
on
business,
the vans,
really.
Whenever I was on the vans, I would always do everything I can to get the review. And then after the move, I'd check in on them. I'd do everything aftercare-wise and then send them the link. And I'd do absolutely everything until I got the review. When I stepped off the vans and things become less me, the reviews did slip a bit, so I had to offer an incentive. Yeah. And people, staff members, they're quite financially driven. So
of course they are, yeah.
If you offer them a bit of money per review, they're flooding in now.
Yeah,
it's the best money I've ever spent.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Good little tip, mate. Perfect. Happy for me to move on to the next question?
Yeah.
I'm stuck on the vans. 2 vans, 5 staff. What's the best way to get off the vans?
Good question.
I know it's going back in the day for you, but if you was 2 vans, 5 staff, how would you get off the vans, mate? Would you employ it? Would you look to take a hit on the money coming in and employ an admin staff? What would you look to do? How did you get off the vans?
I got off the vans through Esther.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I say it all the time.
People don't know Esther. Who's Esther?
Esther's my office manager. Yeah. So I brought her in just over 5 years ago now. 5.5 years ago. So that's how long it's been going. 11 years. So for 5 years at least, I was doing everything with the help of Luke after a few years. But yeah, when I really come off the vans is when I realised that Esther, she's the one that brings in the work, answers the phone really quickly, books in, fills my diary, because I was the salesman at that point.
Yeah.
She was filling my diary, so I was just a quota. So naturally, I couldn't work on the vans because I was full of quotes.
Yeah.
But before, when I was answering the phones whilst on the vans, I was planning it around the move. So I come and do a quote after this job. So I was never really giving myself time to get off the vans. I actually do think, and I don't want this to sound like bad advice, I think you should be looking for an office manager before you can even afford an office manager, because they will bring in money. These staff members bring money in.
Yeah.
Staff members on the vans, they earn money that day. They bring money in that day, which is already planned. The Esther and the office manager, they bring in money for the future. So they're money earners. So after a month or two, take the hit to start with, you will start to see that they pay for themselves.
Yeah. Even I noticed a difference in your old warehouse. I remember you doing the interviews with Esther, and you had a few interviews with the admin staff, and then since you had on Esther, I've seen the business fly. Yeah. Yeah, he was growing quick anyway, but then after Esther, I did notice a difference, like just from looking from the outside in. So employ an admin staff. It's all about buying back your time, right? So you just need to buy back your time so you can push for sales. You can do quotes. So for that gentleman or gentlewoman, would you say take the hit on the wages, get an admin staff.
Yeah.
Get iMove. That buys back a bit of your time.
Yeah.
Or any software.
Any software, yeah.
Any software that buys your time back. Admin staff answering the phones.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And also this is something that's really difficult because you feel like you're an octopus and you can do every part of the business, but try and look at what that role within the business would cost you. So for instance, if you're doing admin all the time, we know that an admin member's £13-14 an hour. Are you worth £14 an hour, or are you worth more? Because as a business owner, you're worth a lot more than £13 an hour. So that's how you got to look at it. It's difficult when you're in the thick of it.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
But that's you need to start pushing out that the low labour stuff needs to go to where it can go to, and you concentrate on what you need to do. So bringing in the work. That's the first step off the vans. But then you got like people like the legend who we love to bitch, Joe Catterall, who's tied to his lorry a lot, and he's trying his hardest to come off the vans. But being a lorry driver, it's a different ball game because you need to be driving the lorry. But Joe seems to be mastering that at the minute. But it's just a natural progression. You'll know when the time's right. But I do think to grow a business, and we're talking now as if people want to grow a business. Not everybody does, but obviously this podcast is about that. But to grow a business, you just need to get off the vans. You know, that is a £12-13 an hour job.
It is, yeah. So you need to buy back your time.
Yeah, but when you build a business from the ground up, it's your baby, and it's letting parts of your baby go. That's the difficult part.
You probably lose quality, but you see systems and processes that you need to put in place.
Yeah.
So do you have team leaders? So you'll have team leaders on the vans.
Yeah.
And then you'll have your quotas separate as well. Now you've got your admin stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're looking to get an in-house bookkeeper. Have you got an in-house bookkeeper?
Looking to get an in-house bookkeeper working 2 days a month, hopefully, which is going to cost quite a lot. But at the moment, we're going through a bit of a thing at Warren's where our profit and loss has been incorrect for the last 18 months, and we've not long found out that. So a bit of stress behind the scenes at Warren's, but we're on top of it. And the business is earning money, but I'm just unsure of how much per month. So I'm just trying to knuckle down on that. We brought in George back. So George went travelling for 6 months. He's now back as a business development manager because I do want to start growing the business again. I'm ready to go again. So he's in charge of doing that, bringing in new work, which has obviously increased the admin labour, the staff costs. So now I've got Esther, the office manager, Luke, the general manager, Rory, the quota, and George, the business development manager. So I've got 4 expensive staff members just running the admin side.
Yeah.
So that costs a lot. But they're super important. I couldn't do without them. And then I've got team leaders who coordinate the moves.
Okay.
And they're also an expensive staff member.
But
So
I think the team leaders is the way to go because each fan will need someone in charge.
Yeah.
Because I bet there's some companies out there, and when you were starting up that the first few vans, you was just like paying them all the same, and then you need someone in charge on site, don't you?
Yeah. And you need something that I've felt corporate to is giving people that accolade because of their experience in removals, just because they've been with a removals company or with a business for 5 years, for instance. That doesn't mean that they're a leader. It just means that they're experienced. So something that I still now struggle with because staff members think it is, the longest people that being here, they're next in line, but in fact, that's just not the way it works in business. You have to put the people in the right seats.
Yeah, you do, yeah. Otherwise, I think your business ended. I see this in the oil and gas industry a lot. There's a lot of dead wood out there. There's a lot of dead wood because people, they used to do like first in, last out.
Yeah.
That's how they used to do it.
Yeah.
And in the industry, just like kind of, no one was training. Everyone knew that there was first in. So there wasn't training themselves. You had no A players.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the new people that come in, they'd just be out.
Yeah.
So they changed the whole wording of it.
Yeah.
The whole industry did it and done it on a training matrix.
Okay.
So the ones who were the most competent were at the top, and the ones who were least competent And that goes for your appraisal and your training matrix.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's the way they did it. It's got rid of a lot of dead wood. To be fair.
Yeah. And I've just done. I wasn't going to dive into this actually, but over the last 6 months, we've made some big changes at Warren's, and with any business, you're going to get bad apples, and we have, and something that I'm pretty crap with is letting people go. If somebody isn't right for the business, they have to go. You can't drag it out. If someone's got the wrong attitude and it's just not changing, they're not going to change. It doesn't matter what you do. They're always going to have this kind of attitude. So recently we've got rid of 1 or 2 people through just being unhappy. And they're not a bad person. They're just unhappy at Warren's Removals. So we just need to spot that earlier, because they can be damaging to the business. So if somebody is just purely unhappy, it doesn't matter what day it is, whether it's over a month, 6 months, they're still the same unhappy person. You have to have those difficult conversations, and that's what we've recently done.
I think sometimes it's actually better for them as well.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? It's actually better for them. You can see they're probably like stuck in their own ways, and they've been there a long time. And the good thing was, it was actually after that we went to the business masterclass, and it was actually that. That was one of the main decisions that you chatted about to myself, and that little bit of advice on there, you was like actionable, and it was a good thing that you did. Yeah,
definitely. And there's just a sense of relief, not just from us, but from that person as well.
Of course,
I think it's just the right thing to do. And now all of a sudden, Warren's, the morale is so high.
Yeah.
Everyone is just so happy, and it's so good to see.
Yeah, it's
when you do go through those, you can have stages where it is quite a difficult place to be.
Of course, yeah. A happy squad is it's the best. You need good team morale. Otherwise, it's like, if it's a bad place to work, no one's happy. It just don't work, mate.
And something else that I learned at that seminar is anything over 12 employees becomes politics.
Yeah, it did say that, didn't it?
Yeah, and it's so true, because since we went over 12, there is politics. There are cliques. There are people that prefer working with others. There are a bit of slagging off, or he does this wrong, or that's not the way I'd do it. And that didn't really happen as a small team, because you're all kind of in the same boat. But the boats start to separate the bigger you get, and then you do get cliques and politics. And that's something else. Like, I'm still learning all the time.
That's when you bring the good management team in place, and good team leaders.
Good middle management.
Good. Excellent, mate. Let's move on. I'm enjoying this here, actually. It's quite good.
This, brilliant episode.
What's the best way to start to get into storage? It's a natural progression, right? I think removals and storage.
Yeah. I'll just speak on my own experiences. So I got into storage through somebody else's storage, through somebody else's money. So quite a few people that I speak to are like, I'm looking at a yard and, they've not been trading that long. You know what I mean? I did it completely different. I was subbing it out, and I was giving the storage to other people. That way I could learn whether the demand was there for myself. So that's when I started to understand. At one point we had 110 20-foot shipping containers full across Worcestershire in about 7 different sites.
Yeah, I remember that.
Honestly. And one site was like 45 minutes away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the middle of a field kind of thing. And it just got way too much. And at that point, I knew I was paying at least £100 a month for these. That it doesn't take a genius to understand that that is well over £10,000 a month I was paying into other people's pockets. That's when I knew full well that I had a storage business on my hands. So that's when we came here, and that's when I got the big loan out, because I just knew I could fill the containers. I knew it.
So you kind of tested the water, subcontracted it out before you actually made the big move.
Before you make the jump, because if you're using somebody else's storage, might be a bit of a contract, but you can just pull it in and pull it out. When it's out, there's no costs. When you get your own yard, it doesn't matter if you're empty, you still got to pay the rent.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So I think you always have to try and test the water first. Don't jump into it all guns blazing.
Yeah, because it could bite you in the ass, couldn't it?
Yeah, you've got to prove that the demand is there, and that you've got a good reputation
Yeah.
for storage.
So sub it out, and if you end up subbing it out, then do the calculations of a little plot in your area.
Yeah.
Can you buy 5 shipping containers in a small plot and then just grow your way up?
Yeah.
Do what you did, stick an office in there.
Yeah.
Then you got yourself a headquarters, haven't you? With the storage paying for for
Exactly.
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just how I did it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how other people do it. Some people might just take the gamble and jump in and get a big yard. Generally, what happens is when people are looking for a yard, their first yard they get is too small.
Yeah. What about self-storage? Do you do a lot of that?
Yeah, but I reckon 20% of our customers are self-storage. We've got some decent businesses here. We've got Makita, we've got plumbers, scaffolding, we've got electricians, bouncy castle. We've got a bouncy castle.
We use
man.
that quite a lot for the content. Don't we?
Yeah. So yeah, self-storage is really good, but it only really works in the containers because otherwise we have to give people access to all the units and stuff, and we don't really want to do that. We're not built like that. But the containers, yeah, they're quite a lot.
Perfect. Good. Perfect. Next question is, it's how do you best way to structure your company? I think we've answered that, to be fair, haven't we, with the team leaders and
Yeah, that'd be the structured one. Yeah.
what has stopped you from joining the BAR?
This was Russ from MveCast that asked this question. Thank you
Is
for
he,
your question.
is he a member?
He's on the group, and
Is he a member of BAR?
He's not a member of BAR.
Oh, isn't he?
I don't think so. I'll have to double check that actually.
Yeah, that's a good one because we had the BIR.
Ian Stud, didn't we?
Ian Stud, yeah, we had him on a podcast. It was a good podcast, very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Guy, obviously 40 years in the industry.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
mad,
I
isn't
think
it?
longer than that,
Was
wasn't
it?
it?
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you join him, mate?
Why aren't I joining BAR? There's nothing against BAR whatsoever. I just haven't got a pull. No one's pulling me in. No one's selling it to me. Not even my friends who are part of BAR are selling it to me. And no customers ever asked for it. If I was getting a lot of customers say, I don't want to book with you because you're not BAR registered,
Yeah.
I'd naturally want to go there. But
I think obviously I don't know much about it, but from the outside looking in, they do a lot of networking events and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I know you've got to be proactive with that, which
Yeah.
I'm just not, believe it or not. But I can get better at it, and it's something I am interested in. And it's quite a few people do ask me why I'm not BAR. There's no real solid answer to that. I've not got anything against them whatsoever. I've just never really...
They never got around to it, kind of.
Yeah, just never made the journey across. I don't know. But yeah, I probably will become BAR. It was almost like when I only had vans and I was a bit like, I would never get a lorry because lorries are awkward and they're bad for access. And in Worcestershire, it's hard to park anywhere near houses anyway. So I was always like a van guy. And then I got the lorry and I was like, bloody hell, I wish I'd have got this before. I know it was a natural pain to start with, but now, it's a godsend. It's out all the time. So maybe it's one of those kind of situations.
Yeah. Good.
Get into bar and then be like, bloody hell, why didn't I do this before?
Yeah.
So probably might get into it.
Okay. I hope you're well and your business is busy. Question for the podcast. What are the biggest challenges that you guys face when managing high demand periods, and how do you keep yourself and staff motivated during these times? That was from Hercules Movers. I think we've answered the first one.
The first stint of that, yeah.
But
So,
the motivate staff.
motivate staff. It depends. Something else which is part of being a business owner is understanding staff personalities. So some people are financially driven, some people are time driven, some people are success driven. So it's understanding individuals, and you've got to motivate them in their way that they appreciate. Majority of people are financially driven. So to keep people upbeat and motivated, you've got to feed them bonuses if they're doing really good. You've got to buy them lunch every now and then. You just make people feel good. You understand how they work, what makes them happy. And it is a physical job. And some days are 12 hours. And then the day after you've got a long distance and it is draining. So during these high peak times, keeping people motivated is how they act as a person. So what you need to act on. For instance, Esther's very time driven. I could give Esther a pay rise today, or I could give Esther a bonus today. She's going to be happy, of course. But if I actually said, no, Esther, I'm going to pay you next week to take the full week off with your daughter, that would make her life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So she's very time driven.
Yeah.
Money is good because you need money to live, but she works different to how other people do. And then you got people like Rory, Luke and George who are quite success driven. They want the business to grow because they understand that if we grow, they grow.
Yeah.
And stuff will happen for them. Doors will open for them if we get bigger. So they are focused on the success of the business. So that's how you motivate your team.
So one thing that I've noticed, what I like that you do as well, is the lads are talking about it. I heard them talking about it just before the podcast. Is the MVP?
Yeah,
So you do a monthly, like, and each person votes for this. Is it monthly or weekly?
Weekly.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you the prize is money.
Yeah.
And then you do a players player kind of vibe, is it?
Yeah, so every Friday, we get the votes in on a Thursday or a Friday, and then the staff members vote for who they think have impressed them the most. And then the person with the most votes gets £40. But this week, because it's so busy, we got all those moves on. We've done a double header, so it's an £80 win.
Okay.
And that is Ben that won that. Ben's won it quite a few times. Ben is a bit of a big player at Warren's. He's not.
Okay.
He's quite new as well. He's been here about 4 months, but he's loving it.
Is it? Yeah. That's great to see the lads voting for each other as well. Like, you know what I mean,
yeah. And I don't think there's. We did have a stint. We've been doing this for years, by the way, but we did have a stint of people just voting for their mates all the time.
Oh, okay,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's changed now because obviously you can't just vote for your mate if you've not actually worked for him. You start to recognise who you're working with and who's actually performing. And because I did a move this week. There's a brand new guy that was with us for a month. He's literally started a month ago. And he just literally blew my mind how good he was in front of the customer. Our customer was blind as well. So it was an old couple and the woman was blind and she'd been blind for 40 years. And how good he was with this customer.
Yeah, that's good to see.
So he got my vote, Lawrence. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, it's just that's great for team morale because everybody wants to win it.
That. Yeah.
Everybody wants to win 40 quid, which in turn makes them work harder in front of their peers.
Did you ever get like a disappointed? Like you want one happy staff after the win, and then the next day, like
it's probably a bit like, oh, he didn't deserve it. You know?
yeah, but it's good. It's good little tips like that. Good little motivation. Good answer, mate.
Yeah.
Good answer. Any more for the motivation section?
Always say thank you.
Yeah, be polite.
Always, yeah. Make sure it's sincere. Don't just say thank you for the sake of saying thank you. But I appreciate every single bloody box and bit of furniture. Yeah. Every staff member moves on a day-to-day basis. And when I say thank you, I mean it. Yeah. And I say thank you every time I see someone.
Yeah, and show it.
Show it, yeah. It's not all about money and feeding them, giving them bonuses and stuff. Thank you goes a long way, yeah. So definitely say thank you a lot more.
Perfect. Okay. Haribo or dairy milk? We've actually got these, by the way, on Instagram.
Haribo, definitely. I'm not a chocolate guy. I'm a sweet guy.
Okay. I used to be. Now I'd still say dairy milk. I ain't had much chocolate this year. That was one of my New Year's reses. Was chocolate. I've done very well with that one. Chocolate ice cream or banana ice cream? It actually says banana here, so it could be chocolate ice cream or a banana.
If it was a banana or banana ice cream, it's still the same answer for me. I don't like chocolate ice cream. I hate it. I hate chocolate ice cream.
A banana or banana ice cream is still the same answer. I don't want chocolate ice cream. Yeah, okay.
It's a banana. I'd choose the banana.
I do like bananas, to be fair, so I'd go chocolate ice cream. No, I don't like chocolate ice cream because it's too rich. Mayo or ketchup, that's a classic, isn't it?
Ketchup.
I hate ketchup. I hate ketchup because if you like ketchup and you put everything you eat, you dip it in ketchup, then everything tastes like ketchup. You know what I mean? That's just my thesis on the ketchup situation. So and mayo, I don't mind a bit of mayo, to be fair.
Yeah.
3 characteristics that are important to be ambitious, grow and succeed. 3 characteristics. My first one would be hard work.
Yeah, hard work. I think that's given, isn't it? I think just being a nice person.
Yeah.
Just being a nice person gets you a long way. And again, being sincere about it. If you're a nice person, people want to be around you.
Yeah.
If you're an aggressive, shouty, highly stressed person, people don't like that. People don't want to be around you. So just literally, I know it's a simple answer, but if you're a nice person and you're kind to people, it will pay its way back round.
Yeah.
One of my biggest goals in just life in general is just being remembered as a kind person. I
Perfect.
don't
Yeah.
care about being remembered for building a monster, or he had this 5,000 vans and loads of staff. I want people to speak about me as being a nice, kind person.
Your legacy on your tombstone.
That's all I want.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice,
That'd
kind
be
person.
success for me.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. Yeah, so for me, it's hard. I love that answer because like it's community and it building community and everyone's nice to each other, and that's why I like our move because like that WhatsApp group's a godsend because everyone helps each other out and they're all business owners and they've all got the same mindset and it's just be nice.
Yeah,
it'd be nice. Education, I think, is a good one as well. Always be learning, always be thinking.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's
Attitude.
yeah, attitude. I think whatever job you're in, whatever you're doing, just try to be the best. Don't be the best in a bad way, as in like try and like get to the top in a
shrewd way.
Get to the top by being a good person.
Yeah.
And being the best that's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, just having a really good attitude about it.
Yeah.
At Warren's, we always recruit on attitude over skill set.
Always, I'd say. Yeah.
Always. Because you could have the best removal man in the world and there's no one better than him, but he's got a terrible attitude. He's going to drag your business down. So always employ over attitude, over skill set.
Yeah.
Skill set over
100%.
attitude.
Even experience over attitude, is that like attitude comes first, isn't it?
Always, yeah. If you've got a bad attitude, you're going to be a bad employee or a bad business owner.
Perfect. Good answer, mate. Good answer. Okay, only a few more to go, guys, and then we're going to wrap it up. How can we boost repeat business in removals? Is that kind of, have we answered that?
Boosting repeat business.
I think branding, marketing, all that.
Yeah, but I think what they mean by, I don't know who asked this, but what they mean by repeat business is like people repeat using you, and you're only really going to get that through corporate work, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You can get repeat rental moves or people that, like we've moved people 5 times, but repeat business is like what you want someone like once every month. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, repeat's only B2B really in this
it's a
industry.
corporate thing, working for insurance companies, solicitors, office blocks, that kind of stuff. Something that I personally don't do enough of. We have got in with a couple of insurance companies lately, which is working really well for us.
Perfect. And we've got a few others, but I think we have probably asked them. One's about referrals, one's about getting feedback from the customers, and how can we reduce vehicle and equipment costs? He's probably just had about a few crashes or so, few bangs to the vans.
Where does it say? What does it say?
How can we reduce vehicle and equipment costs? Maintain the vehicles.
Yeah.
I know I move. You have inspection sheets every day. You maintain. If you don't look after them, you don't water the plant, it's not going to grow.
Yeah, and obviously this is a big financial part, but keeping the fleet new.
Yeah.
Something that we've been really blessed with over the last few years. We only buy new vans now. When you buy in second-hand vans, unfortunately, you are buying somebody else's problem. There are some gems out there. You can buy a second-hand vehicle which just runs like a dream, but generally people are selling them because they're a problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, and just making sure the staff understand how to drive, and that's something that you can't really control unless you sat next to them. And if they're revving the engines too much, or they're over they're filling it up too much weight-wise, and they're just going up hills, and the clutch is burning out. Do you know what I mean? It's just making sure that they understand that those vehicles are our financial and customer income. So like if these vehicles get messed up, then it puts them out of work.
Yeah, of course it does,
drive it
yeah.
properly.
Yeah.
And something that I still struggle with that, especially if our insurance is 18 onwards. So anybody over 18 can drive a woman's van. So you sometimes put in youngsters into big vans.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And they don't know how to drive them properly.
But what about them stickers that you see, like report? Do you see any benefit from them? Report bad driving?
No.
Yeah,
I used to put. I haven't got those on mine.
No. I see them on the motorway. Like,
have you ever reported any bad driving?
I thought about it. To be fair, but it's just you're driving, aren't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You forget about it by the time you get home. But I think that was fantastic. I think one from myself, iMove.
Yeah.
Where's it been? How's it going? And
iMove has been unbelievable again over the last 3 months. I'd say we've done quite a lot of work to it, a lot of updates.
And but one thing we've just reached, you've probably seen it if you're not on Instagram. We've released a photo. We just released 100 after 1 year. Nearly off the same point of 1 year of launch. We've reached 100 subscribers.
We've got more than that now, haven't we? We've got a few more since then. So we're over 100 and we are delighted with that. We didn't expect that in the first year. And the good thing is I know this sounds really cheesy, mate, but this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
And it sounds so bloody corny when I say that, but there's so much more we want to add. So much more stuff to come.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about, like, we talked about marketing earlier. I get excited about marketing over when we start to get the social media plan out of marketing. I'm excited. I know it's like, it's not imminent, but I'm really excited about that part of the business. Our development recently, so we're going to be looking at Blink payments. We've struck a deal with them, Blink payments for their APIs. We're going to go with their most extensive API, which gives you split payments and you can pay frictionless, which would be good for the removal businesses. And also there was QuickBooks that'll be coming soon. But over the past months, we've really concentrated on keeping the system quick, the reliability of the system, and building the back end so that we can, because we've got over 1,000 users now. 1,000 users using it, that's staff members as well. Just so the system is reliable, and we've moved over to AWS storage, so we've got enough storage, and obviously EBC Group, we've upped the package with them. So things are moving in the right direction.
Making sure that it's quick all the time. Something that we all need. We don't want anything to be buggy and slow. So making sure that it's always quick, which it is. It's rapid. And that, we keep the back end robust. And it's something that we're learning, isn't it? We want to plow out big features, but in fact, that's the most important.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff to.
And we currently in development is the customizable module, which is taking longer than expected, but we're nearly there now. You'll be able to customize all your documents.
And the email templates.
Email templates are going to look good. There's a little snippet on Warren's YouTube if you want to Warren's next YouTube video. If you want to watch that.
Which is out next week, isn't it?
And if you like this format, guys, we can carry on doing it. Drop us a message in the comments, and also if you want to come on the poddy live and exclusive with myself and Warren, drop us a message and we'll get you down here. We'll pay for your expenses. We want to see some removal owners or business owners on the poddy, don't we, mate?
What we've realised over the last couple of months, because it's busy at the moment, is we're getting last minute pull out. So we're inviting people here, and it is a big ask. It's in Worcestershire. It's sometimes nowhere near where they are positioned, and the week before something comes up, and then. So we are looking to change the way we work with these podcasts, because people ask for them. There are people who really like these podcasts who want them to keep coming out consistently each month. So we will definitely be looking at making sure that we're consistent, and we will evolve with what people want. So if you're interested, get in touch, because even if it's just a video link, we would prefer you to come here and sit with us all day long. But if it's just a video link, if you've got a good story and you want to tell it.
And your lighting's good and your camera's good.
There we go. And we just need to keep it going, because I really enjoy these podcasts, and it's really great that people are asking for them monthly. And people are finding value from them as well. So It's a props to you as well, that mate.
No, thank you, Woz. Thank you.
It's all you.
mate.
This marketing thing.
No, it's a joint effort, and obviously we say it all the time, but what a pleasure it is to work for yourself, my mate. And I'm getting all emotional, but legend, mate. Thank
Cheers,
you.
man. Enjoy, guys. We'll see you next month.
See you next month.